Friends, this is Amanda Aikman coming to you from Everett, Washington, and my sermon is called A Cure for Loneliness. The reading is a wonderful poem by Danusha Lamaris. It's called Small Kindnesses. I've been thinking about the way, when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by. Or how strangers still say bless you when someone sneezes, a leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, we are saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver in the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire, only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together when we say, here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat. So ends the reading. That was Small Kindnesses by Danusha Lamaris. Loneliness, as you are no doubt aware, is a terrible blight that affects our health and longevity. Anything we can do to alleviate our own loneliness or that of our neighbors is a great boon, a great gift to our communities, and especially valuable now in this era when we are so divided from and suspicious of our neighbors. I believe that we have a profound need for simple human connection, expressed so beautiful in the poem by Danusha Lamaris, a need to give and receive small kindnesses, to be acknowledged as human, to express simple gratitude. We have a need for that, but I'm convinced that we are starved, famished for meaningful conversations that connect us at a deeper, more significant level with our fellow humans. Do you agree? As a little example, let me tell you about what happened when I preached via Zoom for a tiny community church on a tiny island in Washington State not long ago. Excuse me. Before the service started, people were talking to each other on Zoom, and the main topics of conversation were road repairs and weather. Then we had the worship service, and then it was time for coffee hour for people to talk to each other. And guess what they immediately started talking about? Road repair and weather. So being the guest preacher and hence somewhat nonchalant about what they might think of me, I broke in and said, Hey, what did you think of the sermon? They looked startled, and they all laughed a little shyly, but then they started responding not only to the sermon, but then to deeper ideas that started coming up as a result of their exchanges with each other. Before long, they were having a really good conversation, and I don't think that the topics of road repairs or the weather came up again, at least not while I was still online with them. People want to talk about real stuff, don't we? A lot of the time, we just don't know how to go about it. Plus, we're a bit nervous about broaching the wrong subject or having the wrong opinion or the wrong words. People seem to be less tolerant of differences and mistakes these days. But if we can talk about real stuff and also give ourselves and each other a genuine mood boost, all the better. So I'm going to share with you an approach to conversations based on substantial research about happiness and positive mindsets. But this is not something I learned from books. but from two UU friends who have spent a lot of time exploring and practicing this. Dr. Gerald Forster, a retired psychology professor and member of our Shoreline, Washington church, and Mike Sands, a member of the Surrey, British Columbia Unitarian Church. The two of them have been talking once a week since 2008, using this technique to experience uplifting, happiness-inducing conversations. But before we get to that, first we need to explore one of the most happiness-inducing practices there is, the practice of savoring. Next time something good happens, stop whatever you're doing, give it a second, or if you can, half a minute, and appreciate that moment. The happiness researchers call this savoring. The key component to effective savoring is focused attention. By taking the time and spending the effort to appreciate the positive, people are able to experience more well-being. Stopping to smell the roses? It makes your life so much better. Research shows that the happiest people take the time to appreciate the little things. All it takes is a conscious decision to really cherish the small and large and medium-sized joys in life. And today being Gratitude Day, did you know that September 21st is International Gratitude Day? It has been celebrated internationally since 1966. What better day, friends, what better day to practice savoring? And what better way than this? Just do one thing that you like at a time and don't hurry through it. Slow down and appreciate it. Just doing that caused significant decreases in depression and increases in happiness. Sometimes savoring can be easier said than done, especially in our busy society where every moment is filled. And because of our Puritan ancestors, I blame them for almost everything. The Puritan ancestors who instilled into our collective psyche the idea that idleness is sinful. Busyness is no excuse. All of us can learn to savor. And what is more worthy of our time and attention than embracing the good things in our precious world? Before the event, anticipate. Think through how good it will be to take that walk or bake that cake. During the event, focus on the sensory experience. Use all 5 senses and enjoy every aspect of the experience. Pause to notice and appreciate what you're experiencing and feeling. Perhaps share your feelings with someone or write them down. And after the event, reminisce. Look back on the event and reminisce about it. Turn it into a story that brings you pleasure. Anticipate, focus, reminisce. Savoring, if you practice it consistently, has the power to lift your whole life experience into a much more joyful place. Our brains tend to remember painful or scary experiences much more effectively than happy or joyful experiences. That was an evolutionary advantage to our ancestors who needed to remember the location where the saber-toothed tiger was hanging out. So we inherit that watchful, wary attitude. To combat that natural tendency and the guilt we inherit from the Puritans, we have to work at savoring the good moments and finding beauty wherever we are. Most of the time, a good experience is pretty mild, and that's fine, but try to stay with it for 20 or 30 seconds in a row instead of getting distracted by something else. As well as you can, sense that it is filling your body, becoming a rich experience. The longer something is held in awareness and the more emotionally stimulating it is, the more neurons that fire and the stronger the trace in memory. This is not craving or clinging to positive experiences. Actually, you're doing the opposite. By taking them in and filling yourself up with them, you will increasingly feel less fragile or needy inside and less dependent on externals. Your happiness and love will become more unconditional, based on an inner fullness rather than on whether the momentary facts in your life happen to be good ones. And intend and sense that the good experience is sinking into you. People do this in different ways. Some feel it in their body as a warm glow spreading through their chest like the warmth of a hot cocoa on a cold wintry day. Others visualize things like golden syrup sinking down inside, bringing good feelings and soothing old places of hurt, filling in old holes of loss or yearning. Any single time you do this will make only a little difference, but over time, those little differences will add up, gradually weaving positive experiences into the fabric of your brain and yourself. Then the second part of this experience, the part that not only deepens the savoring experience, but also leads to deeply meaningful, highly buoyant conversations between people, is identified by its 3-word title. It's very simple. What went well? What went well? Essentially, you are interviewing your friend or your new acquaintance, asking them about what is going well in their life, and then using your curiosity and encouragement to ask them for further details. Meet the other person where they are and gently go with them to where they want to be. They will get to savor their memory of the thing that went well for them, and you will get to savor it yourself through their excitement. My partner Nancy told me the other day about a new acquaintance of hers who's a very nice person, but whose passion in life is wine tasting, something that Nancy finds deadly boring. I happen to agree with her, but I have found that when you can get beneath the surface to find out what the person really loves about their subject, it is interesting. Usually, I notice, too, when we talk about something we're passionate about, we tend to use our hands a lot. That's a sign to look for, friends. A sign that you're out of the abstract zone and into the passion zone. Get your new friend to the place where they're waving their hands around and you're in the what went well zone. Or possibly you're in Italy. It is possible to become more skillful as an interviewer. One way is to use 1 or 2 of their exact words when you ask your follow-up questions. Ask questions that show the other person that you're excited about what they're talking about. See if you can get them to brag about themselves or their project, or explain what the best part of their enthusiasm does for them. When I was in seminary, living in a teeny little cottage in Berkeley, my roommate Holly had a boyfriend named Ben who was an amazing cook. He produced an exquisite 7-course Christmas dinner with printed menus just for the 3 of us. I don't like to cook, so I was curious about what motivated him to spend hours and hours making this feast happen for just the 3 of us. I just did not understand how he could enjoy it so much. When we had finished eating, I asked him, Ben, what's the juiciest part of this for you? He thought for a long time, and then he said, when people moan. This made us laugh. Polly and I had both moaned with delight several times, tasting things during the course of the meal, and I understood how that would feel. Even though when people moan when eating something I've cooked, it's probably not from delight. But I was able to connect with Ben in a new way and to share his pleasure. Naturally, if someone comes into the conversation with something tragic or extremely difficult going on in their lives, don't artificially force the conversation into what went well mode. Just listen. But if your friend has come to the end of telling their what went well story, they should now ask you to tell yours. Of course, if they're not doing that, you can say, I'd love to tell you about something that's going really well for me. Would you like to hear it? These conversations don't have to take a long time, but they're immensely rewarding, and the more you do them, the more skillful you will get at gently steering your friend to a place where you both feel exhilarated and happy. I predict that if you are suffering from loneliness, it will evaporate for a while, maybe for a long while. Our UU values call us to declare the inherent worth of every person. I believe that by recognizing that every person has joyful experiences to share, we honor and uplift each other, and we experience the fullness of life by stopping to savor the moments of our own precious lives that otherwise would flee away without being noticed. These brief moments of exchange, what if they are the true dwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we make together? So friends, let's practice savoring and deepening our experience of the beautiful moments that come our way. And let's improve our odds of having meaningful, interesting, uplifting conversations and connections with each other by asking what went well and then really listening to the answers. I'd love to hear how this goes for you. Maybe you'll tell Kim and she'll send me an email to let me know. May you be well. Savor the world. Amen. Bye-bye.